In the universe, there is a planet called Cybertron, where intelligent robots live. They have special gears that they can use to transform into different vehicles. In the city of Iacon, a robot named Orion Pox secretly sneaks into an old archive and watches a historical documentary. It turns out that the first Transformer robot was Primus. He transformed into the planet Cybertron and created other Transformers from its core, which were called Primes. To maintain their existence, the robots used a substance called energon. Primus also created the matrix of leadership. Unfortunately, after many centuries it disappeared, and with it the source of energon. Orion is noticed by the guards of the archive, and they rush in pursuit of him. Our hero has no gear for transformation, and the guards are sure that he will not hide from them. However, stupid robots underestimate Orion. He can run fast, jump from great heights, land deftly, hide in the crowd, and use various vehicles. However, the archive guards still catch up with him. Fortunately, Orion is saved by his faithful friend D16, who quietly leads him away from his pursuers. It turns out that our hero dreams of finding the matrix of leadership, lost many centuries ago. With it, the source of energon will return, which means that Orion, along with other robot miners who do not have a transformation gear, will not have to work hard to extract it in a deep energon mine. The thing is, Orion hates his job and dreams of something more. As a token of gratitude for saving him, our hero gives D16 a sticker with Megatronus Prime. This was the most powerful transformer of all who ever lived on Cybertron. The robot miners under the leadership of Alita begin another work shift in the mine. They need to get a new portion of energon. It's a hell of a task, and the robots have to put in a lot of effort. At some point, a collapse occurs in the mine, and all the workers immediately leave the dangerous place. However, the evacuation does not go very well. Jazz the robot is trapped under rubble. Orion and D16 rush to his aid. They save their comrade, but their actions lead to even greater destruction, a complete collapse of the mine, and an explosion of energon. The head of the mining league, a robot named Darkwing, accuses Alita of breaking protocol and transfers her to the waste management department. What a humiliation! Orion and D16 try to stand up for their boss, but it does not end well for them. The leader of Cybertron, Sentinel Prime, returns from another expedition. During the online broadcast, he reports that he was looking for the matrix of leadership, but has not yet found it. And so that the robots are not too upset, Sentinel Prime is organizing the Iacon 5000 race tomorrow. Orion invites D16 to take part in this race. There they will be able to prove that they are capable of more than being simple robot miners. How are they worse than others? D16 reminds his comrade that they cannot transform and will only disgrace themselves. But Orion is determined. He and his friend illegally enter the track where the races are taking place. Sentinel Prime appears at the stadium and tells them that his squad recently successfully fought off an attack by cruel alien invaders called Quintessence. The racers prepare for the start and transform into various vehicles to accelerate as much as possible. Using jetpacks, Orion and D16 descend onto the track and also become participants in the competition. All the city residents are shocked. These are ordinary miners who do not know how to transform. Surviving such races is almost impossible, but a couple of our brave robots do everything possible to win. They receive a lot of serious damage, but still get almost to the finish line. After the race and repairs, Orion and D16 are personally visited by Sentinel Prime. The leader of Cybertron praises the robots for their bravery and says that they have raised the morale of all the miners. Now the mines produce even more energon. Alas, instead of a reward, Orion and D16 receive a severe punishment. The thing is, the evil Darkwing doesn't want to work with them anymore and sends a couple of our robots to a garbage recycling plant. There, Orion and D16 meet the garbage robot, B127. It turns out that this poor guy is very bored, so he creates fake robots for himself and communicates with them as if they were alive. Among the various junk, Orion suddenly finds a chip with a message from one of the first primes, Alpha Trion. He reports some kind of trap and transmits the coordinates of the matrix of leadership. Our heroes understand that this is their chance to show themselves as real heroes. To do this, you need to get out of the garbage bin using a special cargo belt for garbage removal. However, Alita, who now also works here, appears on the way of our heroes and tries to stop them. As a result of a furious chase, they all end up on the surface of Cybertron. It's very beautiful here. Orion tells Alita that he has found the location of the Matrix of Leadership. And at that moment, huge sharp crystals grow on the surface of the planet. They destroy the train, and all the robots fall down. Our heroes survive, but now they can't go back. Alita is furious. Orion suggests that they go in search of the Matrix of Leadership, since they have no other choice anyway. The robots meet some very strange robo-deer on their way. A strong wind rises, and a spaceship appears in the sky, scanning the surface in search of various life forms. Orion and his companions hide from the scanners because they understand that this ship belongs to the Quintessence. When the danger is left behind, the robots continue their way and reach some cave. According to their map, the Matrix of Leadership should be there. Our heroes wander through a dark cave and come across many of the first primes. Alas, they show no signs of life. Even Megatronus Prime is among them. However, the Matrix is not here. The robots find Alpha Trion. It is disabled, but can be restored. Using Energon, Orion activates Trion and asks him to help them find the Matrix. Upon learning the latest news, Alpha Trion is horrified. The fact is that Sentinel Prime is a traitor. He secretly works for the Quintessence and supplies them with Energon, and in return they allow him to rule Cybertron. Many Primes have died because of his betrayal. He personally dealt with the most powerful Transformers and took the Matrix of Leadership, but it refused to obey him and disappeared. At this moment, Sentinel Prime himself appears on the surface of Cybertron with a small detachment. He is surrounded by a huge army of Quintessence. However, the Transformers do not enter the battle, but kneel before their worst enemies and give them boxes of toxic waste and Energon. Yes, Sentinel is indeed a traitor. Our heroes are horrified by such news. But that's not all. It turns out that all Transformers are born with transformation gears. Since Orion and his comrades do not have such gears, this means that Sentinel removed them to make his miners and scavengers feel inferior and subservient to him. Alpha Trion gives Orion D16, B127, and Alita the gears of the strongest and bravest primes. And this gives our heroes the ability to transform and use their potential to the maximum. Alpha Trion also records data on the chip that proves the fact of Sentinel's betrayal. Soon Sentinel arrives in the cave with his squad. Alpha Trion orders Orion and his comrades to flee immediately, while he himself stays behind to make his final stand. Our heroes use their gears and transform to escape pursuit. Orion and his comrades manage to escape from Sentinel's soldiers. They want to return home and expose the traitor. Meanwhile, Alpha Trion loses and is captured by Sentinel. Unfortunately, the leader of Cybertron immediately executes him. Our heroes rush to Iacon, but are captured by the High Guard. These are Transformers who previously fought alongside the Primes and have now rebelled against Sentinel. Their leader, Starscream, believes Orion and his comrades are Sentinel's spies and wants to execute them. Then D16 challenges Starscream. In the world of Transformers, everything is decided by strength, so the robots begin a duel. During a tough fight, D16 defeats his opponent and calls himself the new leader of the High Guard, promising to lead the Transformers into battle against Sentinel. Unfortunately, Sentinel's soldiers find them first. Our heroes fight bravely against their opponents, but the forces are not equal. D16, B127, Starscream, and half of the High Guard are captured, and the chip with evidence of Sentinel's treason is destroyed. Orion and Alita realize that the future of Cybertron now depends only on them. Together with the remaining soldiers of the High Guard, they must return to Iacon and free their comrades. Sentinel informs D16, B127, Starscream, and the rest of the captives that he will declare them traitors and servants of the Quintessence, and then publicly execute them. The leader of Cybertron boasts that he personally dealt with Megatronus Prime and took his transformation gear, and then brands D16 with Megatronus symbol. Orion and Alita return to Iacon. Orion goes to the miners, shows them his transformation gear, and tells them the whole truth about Sentinel Prime. Our hero convinces his former colleagues to rebel against their leader. Meanwhile, Alita and the High Guard soldiers rush to our captives on an armored train. The miners join them. Another fierce battle begins. Sentinel Prime personally fights the rebels. Alita finds Sentinel's faithful assistant, named Ericnet, and broadcasts her memory recordings to all of Iacon. The city's inhabitants learn the bitter truth about their leader and immediately rebel against him. Soon, the Transformers defeat Sentinel. 516 wants to destroy the traitor, but Orion forbids him to do so. An argument breaks out between our friends, during which D16 accidentally injures Orion seriously. At first, he wants to save his comrade, but then lets him fall from a great height and crash. D16 becomes so aggressive that he destroys all of Sentinel's assistants, and then him. He takes the Megatronus gear from the former leader of Cybertron, inserts it into his chest, transforms, and declares himself the new leader of the Transformers. Now D16 calls himself Megatron and wants to destroy the entire city. The spirits of the dead Primes and even Primus himself decide that Orion Pax is the most worthy with a Transformer. They give him the lost matrix of leadership and revive him as Optimus Prime. Orion, or rather Optimus Prime, returns to Iacon and engages in battle with Megatron. The two most powerful Transformers use their maximum capabilities, but Optimus still manages to defeat Megatron. He is a humane leader, so he does not execute his crazy comrade, but expels him from Iacon along with the High Guard. Thanks to the powerful force of the Matrix of Leadership, Optimus Prime returns entire rivers of Energon to Iacon. In addition, each robot gets back the transformation gear. Optimus calls all of his Transformers Autobots and gives the Quintessence orders to stay away from Cybertron. We see the exiled Megatron rename the High Guard the Decepticons and declare war on Optimus Prime.